Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And there is another civil war brewing in the SNP, this time, of course, over the potential leadership. They are at odds within that party on so many different things, so why shouldn't this be anything else? But it seems that there is a great deal of dislike between the two main candidates. Now, of course, we're only talking here about Kate Forbes and John Swnney. It may well be that a third candidate does emerge. Who knows? They may put someone up to split someone else's vote. It's one of those weird things, but I think it will just come down to the two. I can't see, a new third candidate emerging. The 2024 version of Ash Regan. Hell, the 2023 one wasn't great. But it does make you wonder that if, for example, Kate Forbes lost again, it makes you wonder if she wouldn't perhaps jump ship and she would go, and I think naturally, to the Tories. She could go anywhere, but I think deep in she's naturally a Tory, and it wouldn't surprise me if she did. But the divisions that are being sown now are one of those that are going to last a long time, whatever happens. We saw the animosity between Kate Forbes and Humza Yousaf, between Ash Regan and Humza Yousaf, between the electorate and Humza Yousaf. And it won't be any different should John Swnney win. I don't think anyone wants Swnney to win. I know that the wild-eyed loons of the SNP do, but anyone serious or sensible must see the problems. Let's take a look to see why there is yet another civil war raging, this time over the leadership. Here goes. So, SNP at war, which is always a good headline, I always think. Swnney v Forbes to get nasty as personal animosity between the pair emerges. I get the impression that a lot of people who meet John Swnney end up with a lot of personal animosity. He's not a particularly nice man in so many different ways, as many people know. The race to replace Humza Yousaf hasn't even officially started yet, but it is already exposing bitter divisions within the party. Well, you have Kate Forbes, who's seen as more moderate, more capable, and you have Swnney, who is a failure. He failed 20 years ago, and he's still stuck and linked to that past regime. And now he wants to come back and fail again, but fail better. And it's not a very forward-looking move to put yesterday's man in charge, is it? The world has changed in the last 20 years. Times have moved on, attitudes have changed. And do you really want a man in his 60s trying to lead a party that needs to be young and vibrant and moving forward into the future? No, he's yesterday's man. He's done, he's dusted. And boy, does he have baggage. The battle between John Swnney and Kate Forbes is to become the next SNP leader is likely to get nasty after personal animosity between the pair emerged. The duo have emerged as the hot favourites to stand in the leadership race, although neither has actually thrown their hat into the ring yet. Now, of course, what you've got here is a direct parallel with a year ago, 14 months ago, when you have Kate Forbes, who's popular, liked, capable, popular with the rank and file, versus John Swnney, who is the replacement Humza, the spare Humza, if you will. He is he's a fake Humza, isn't he? And he's the establishment figure. He's continuity Swnney. As Humza Yousaf was continuity Sturgeon, now Swnney is continuity Humza, and he'll certainly continue in the fail stakes, that must be said. Unfortunately, I can't do the jokes about the Three Stooges, which is unfortunate. But anyone who knows will know about the fake Shemp Howard. They had sorry for the tangent, but they had an agreement they had to do 5 films, and they'd done one, and Shemp Howard died, but they were still under contract, and so they had to get this fake Shemp in. And they just stuck a wig on this guy and then always made sure his face was away from the camera or he's carrying something in order to fulfill the contract. Just because you're dead. This is Holyrood. Just because you're dead doesn't mean you don't have a contract. And that's all of course, that's Swnney is. He's a fake shemp. He is one of the stooges brought in to replace a dead stooge, in this case, Humza Yousaf. Anyway, supporters of Mr. Swnney, who led the party for 4 years at the start of the new millennium, are keen to see him placed as party leader and therefore First Minister. Well, not necessarily. Ain't necessarily so, as they know, without a contest. Just because they've made him leader doesn't mean he'll become First Minister. You know. Anyway, but Miss Forbes, who stood last year against Humza Yousaf, has dropped a strong hint that she will stand, saying that she has a groundswell of support. Both are seen as fiscal conservatives and represent largely rural constituencies. But on social issues, Swnney, who is favoured by the party establishment, would be more palatable to the Greens, because after all it is the Greens who run the SNP now. Reports suggest there's a cool relationship between the pair, and always has been. They don't like each other, never have. According to the Times, Mr. Swnney was angered by Miss Forbes' extreme criticism of nationalist government's record during the battle of leadership last year. She famously dismantled Humza Yousaf's own performance as a minister in one brutal televised debate. Well, what she did was show that she's capable of telling the truth. Everyone knows he's an absolute failure. She wasn't telling people anything that was, a top secret. Anyway, Mr. Swnney was also highly critical of Miss Forbes' personal views during the campaign. She has faced a backlash for saying she would have voted against the same-sex marriage on religious grounds. But let's be clear here, so did Humza Yousaf. No, he just didn't come out and say that he was against it, but he made sure he was damn well away from Parliament that day. He ran away and pretended he had a meeting somewhere because he couldn't vote against his own party, but he couldn't be voting for it because the guys down the mosque wouldn't like that. So he arranged to be absent. Oh dear, look, I've missed that vote. What a shame. So that means that he's against it too. Why is no one criticising Humza Yousaf for being against same-sex marriage? Just have a look at his voting record. He's never voted for it. Therefore, he's against it. Anyway, he added, this is Swnney, he said, I'm a man of deep Christian faith. Well, Christians don't do what you've done, mate. He says, but I do not hold the same views as Kate has set out in the course of the last couple of days. What, you have a different Bible? You agree to different things? You don't believe in the things in the Bible? Well, you can tell that by the actions you've done. He said that Kate is perfectly entitled to express her views. There you go then. What's your problem? Said, but party members are equally entitled to decide if someone who holds those views would be an appropriate individual to be an SNP leader and First Minister. So, you agree with Humza Yousaf's views then, and his religion, is that what you're saying? You voted him in because you must think that his political views and religious views are acceptable. Killing gays, women are second-class women, that kind of thing. So, Swnney, you are just a chancer, an opportunistic, two-faced twonk. Who knows? A spokesman for Miss Forbes shot back, saying the Prime Minister is a Hindu, the Mayor of London a Muslim, so many will wonder why the Deputy First Minister believes a woman holding Christian values should be disqualified from holding high office in Scotland. Quite right too. Polling released on Tuesday suggested Swnney held support within the SNP, but Forbes was more popular among the Scottish public. We'll be looking at that poll in full later. So it is coming out that they don't like each other, and that's fine. I don't like him for many reasons. I don't like her for many reasons. But I think of the two, she'd be the sensible one because she is. She's sane. And, as for my knowledge, she hasn't harmed anyone. I'll stop there. I'll come up and we'll finish. I'm sure as the days go on, there'll be more and more of this. There will be absolute catfights. And I can't wait. I do love it when all this shit comes out. Now, of course, the main thing is we do absolutely want a leadership battle. We want them to have this leadership battle because at that point they have to go to a vote, which means they have to reveal by law the number of members. And they don't want to do that because they'd be quite embarrassed, I think. And so they're trying to avoid a leadership election because it means that they'd release the number of members they have. And they don't want to. And it'd be cracking to see. Because I suspect it'll be lower than the 73,000 that they're claiming. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, I'll finish there. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Please share the video. And I will speak to you later. Bye.